In this Madden Guides video breakdown, I show a passing play that is a glitch when the defense calls man coverage. However, I wouldn't recommend running this play because it will be patched. For this video breakdown, the play that we're going to use is out of the Singleback Wing, and it's called Play Action in Around. You'll find it out of this particular playbook. Fortunately, it's out of the Bears Playbook, and that's it, which is actually a good thing. So we'll talk about that later in the video breakdown. For now, let's go ahead and get on the field. We'll take a look at this play, and we'll show you the glitch, and then we'll show you some things you can look for when your opponent runs this. Before I get too far into this video breakdown and showing you guys this glitch out of the Singleback Wing Play Action in Around, I want to let you guys know this is not my play. Matter of fact, I found it on another Madden YouTube channel that does strategies as well. And I'll go ahead and post that link in the video description below so you guys can check out his video breakdown of it. It goes in a lot more detail on what I'm about to show as far as the glitch. But please also give him a like if you guys like this breakdown or like his breakdown. That'll help him out. But the other thing I want to point out is I also went ahead and talked to somebody that I knew at EA personally, a friend of mine, and hopefully they'll get this patch sooner rather than later. So it's definitely a game breaker, but the one good thing is you can only find it out of the Bears Playbook, and it only works against man coverage, which is nice. So at least that's something that'll help out. There's also some tip-offs that tells you if they're running it or not. At least initially, at least you'll know if they're coming out and thinking about running the play. And we'll talk about that later in the video breakdown. For now, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the glitch. I'll show you what to look for, and then I'll show you a couple counters or some things you can try to do to defend this. All right, so let's start off with the very first thing I want to show here is this guy right here. This is the tight end. Now, as you look at it, you'll notice that he's not running a pass route at this point. All right, he's not doing anything at all. You cannot run the glitch from this particular play. You have to start off with this play, and then you have to audible into another play. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and audible into another play. Now, keep in mind, I did not do any substitutions or packages. You can go into the packages and substitutions, and you can change what other formations that you can use to run this play besides the stock formations and plays that are already preset in the game for this particular team or this particular playbook for the Bears. So I don't want to confuse you on that. Just know that you guys can do some things in here that can really make this thing even more wicked than it already is. All right, with that said, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and audible into one of these formations. So right now you can see we got the gun deuce close. You see all those plays on your screen that you can go to. Those are all default stock audibles. Same way for the gun wing slot offset, and the other one would be the Singleback deuce close. So what I'm going to run here is I'm going to run this play out of the gun deuce close. The name of the play I'm going to choose is called Play Action Deep Cross. So I'm going to go ahead and run that. So right there, I'm in this. At this point, you're thinking, Cobra, why is this such a glitch? Well, let's watch this. I want to show you guys something next. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to hot route this tight end right there on a streak. Just putting him on a streak. I want to throw something else at you. If he was an X factor and he had multiple routes, tight end routes that he could run, those extra 4 routes, you could even do some more crazy things with this. So keep that in mind. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hot route the running back to stay in the pass block. So you can see there's the running back and there's the tight end. All right, that's all I'm going to do as far as hot routes. Now I'm going to call press coverage, and I want you guys to know that this is a man defense. I'm going to go back and show it to you guys in just a second here. You guys see that's a man defense, and you can see this is the 3-4 under pinch buck 0 and all out. Basically, it's a cover 0 defense with 6 pass rushers. And I'm going to show you how open that receiver, that tight end, is going to get this guy right here running that streak once I snap the ball. So let's go ahead and snap it, and you'll see right there, I'm just going to throw it over towards the right, and that's a touchdown. And it's nuts. It's a game breaker. It really is against man coverage. And so what I want to do is I just want to go into instant replay here, and then I'm just going to show you something here as far as how this play works. So as you look at it again, here's the tight end. Remember, we talked about him earlier. Now, if I remember right, with this particular play, the guy that's supposed to be covering him, and I'd have to go back and look, so I don't really remember now, but I believe it's the safety right here supposed to be covering him. So let's watch this as I go through this, and you can see that no one gets, he just totally doesn't be covered. Matter of fact, let me double check that, make sure it's the safety. I can't remember who covers him initially. Let's go back here and just look at this. Yeah, it's the safety is supposed to be covering him from this particular play as you look at it. So you can see right there, it's supposed to be the safety covering him. And that's a problem right there with this when I audibled into this. And you can see how open, if we go back in this replay, you can see how open he got. I mean, it's just nuts. As a matter of fact, that guy rushes the quarterback, that safety, and I don't think that always happens. Sometimes, if I remember right, they'll go out and cover some other different receivers, and it's just all screwed up. So anyway, this guy gets wide open, make the throw, it's a touchdown. So that's a problem, right? So let's go into one more play real quick here. Let's go into, let's go on our center here. Let's go into single back deuce close play, and we'll run the play action. Let's run the bench play. We'll run the bench play this time. So again, I'm going to run the same play here. This time, I'm going to go ahead and put him on a streak again one more time. So I'll put this tight end on a streak. As you look at your screen here, I'm going to go ahead and put him on a streak. So I'll do that right now. And again, let's look and see who's covering him, just so you guys can see this as I'm running this. So there he is right there. This time, it's this guy right here. Supposed to, I can't believe it's supposed to be this guy. And this is just nuts. And it's this guy right here. I believe it's the safety supposed to be covering him as you look at it. So it's supposed to be the safety supposed to be covering him as you look at it. And let's see what happens again when I run this. I'm just going to go ahead and run this, call press coverage, and see what happens here. Nothing. Just stands there. Touchdown. That is a problem, guys. It really is a big time problem. So let's go back in here, and I'm going to show you why this works. All right. I'm going to show you why it works and what to look for. So as you look at your screen here, the very first thing, if you guys have been paying attention to this, you're going to notice this guy right here, again, that tight end, he has no pass icon whatsoever. And that's bad, because that means there's no one covering him before the ball's even snapped here. So again, but he's not going out, so there's no anything to worry about. Matter of fact, from this particular play, if you remember right, this is supposed to be an all-out blitz. And if you look at this guy right here, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. This guy right here should be in man coverage, but they got him in QB spy for some reason. So if you see that and you're coming out in this formation that shows QB spy, and you're calling this play, then you probably know you're being glitched, because you know that guy's not supposed to be in there. But with that said, you can also look at something else, and I'm going to show it to you next year when I audible. So right now, I want you guys to pay attention to this as well. You're going to notice that this tight end on the outside has the A icon above him. All right. So when I audible, say I audible to another play within this formation. Now look where the A goes. It goes over the tight end right here, the one that didn't have an icon on him. And then if you look, when we audible, this is the only play within this formation this actually does this with. So right there, you're actually going to have somebody actually covering him. If I were to run this play, let's go ahead and run this. And you'll see right there that, actually, I forgot about it. He doesn't actually get covered. Never mind. I just totally forgot about that. You can actually run this play. If you audible within another play within the formation, he does not get covered. So that's the other thing I forgot to tell you guys. He can be wide open. Like, for example, let's go back in that play again. I'll run it one more time. Let's run this tight end. Let's run this play right here, this tight end attack. So we're in this play right now. I'm going to go ahead and hot route the running back to stay in the pass block. But look at that right now. You'll notice that this guy, the guy that's supposed to be in man coverage on him, isn't in man coverage on him. As you're looking at this, he's not covering anybody at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and run the play here, and you'll see again, this tight end's going to get wide open. Obviously, I got hit as I was throwing it, but you can see the tight end clearly was wide open. So that's a problem. Okay. So they can stay. But if you notice, when I audibled to this play, the tight end now has an icon at least above him. So you know initially when you come out that the other guy doesn't have an icon on him. But then when you audible into this, he does. So that's the nice thing about that. Now, if you're playing online, you're going to probably not see everything like that, but just keep in mind, you got to just kind of watch and see everything. Just if you see that that's like that, then you don't have to worry about when they audible into another play and you see that switch, you know damn well they came out in that play initially. So if you see the icon on this guy first, if you see that this guy has the A icon above him, let me show you this guy right here when I'm talking about this guy. If you see that this guy has the A icon above him, and then all of a sudden it switches to this guy, then you know they're calling this play. You know you're calling the play action in the round. I guess that's what I want to point out to you. All right, so now let's go back into something else here with this. Let's audible into another play again. And let's go into let's go into this play right here. And I'm going to show you something. I don't want to get too far into this because I really don't want to show too much about this glitch. But at this point, you can see again, as you look at it, this guy now has an icon above him, right? This guy right here, as you look at when I talk about that, that's going to be the tight end. He has an icon lined up above him, right? But as I pointed out earlier, he's not covered by any defender. He's supposed to be covered by that strong safety up there at the top, and he's not. So that's what you got to look for. The problem with that is, let's go back in here. Actually, I'll go ahead and show it to you guys. I didn't want to get too much into this as far as with this whole glitch, but let me go back in here one more thing. The problem is, there is another problem with this, and I'm going to show it to you in a second. We're in the same play. If they audible into another play within the formation, such as I just did there, now you see that A icon. So now you're thinking, okay, cool. But then they can audible to another, then they can still audible to another play or another formation, such as I'm doing here. And that's right there. So you may not even know they even did all this crazy audible. And if they do it real fast, you may not even pay attention to it. So what I'm saying is kind of watch out and see where that A icon's on, or if you, I believe it's an X icon for the PlayStation 5. Just keep an eye on that. If you see him come out in that formation, then you need to start watching for that play. Also, if you're playing online, you should be able to see what plays are being ran anyways. But with that said, there it is right there. So that's what you got to look for, is that where that icon initially lines up, and then when they audible. So the counters to this, as we go through this, the one thing you can do right off the bat, let's go back in here again. Let's go back into the same play. Say you come out in this pinch buck zero defense, right? And you see that the icon's lined up over here, and you're saying, oh, he's going to run the play. So you see it's lined up over here, as I've been pointing out to you guys. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to audible into a zone play, some kind of zone play, or you could always, do some hot route adjustments and put a couple guys in zones, or just automatically, adjust into a zone itself. And then if I go ahead and let's go back to another play here, let's run that play we've been running, the play action deep cross. So there's a setup right there. So I'm just going to run the same play I've been running. Then at least you got somebody who's going to be in position to try to defend that. All right. That's what I wanted to point out with that. Of course, if they audible in this play, and then they also got some zone beaters mixed in with this, then you're going to be able to take that away. But then you got to worry about the zone defenses. The zone coverage is covering some of the other hot routes or whatever adjustments they make on the offensive side of things to get guys open. So that's a problem right there. But at least you can do that and go into zone. Obviously, the other option would be is that you could man up yourself, be in user control, and then you could take one of these guys, for example, is blitzing, and then you could manually, cover that receiver. The last thing I want to show here with that, so if you're in man coverage, you'd have to manually cover them, which again, it's going to take you away from maybe covering some of the other routes that your opponent might run that are just as effective. So that's a problem right there too as well. So there's no real easy solution as far as defending this. I want to show you guys this one last thing here. I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick. I'm going to audible back into here because I want to show you guys what makes this glitch even crazier. And why it just blows my mind that this one got slipped by and no one caught it in the testing when they were doing this, or any of us for that matter when we were doing this over the summertime. I guess a lot of us don't run the Bears Playbook, I guess. But at any rate, I'm going to put a bunch of guys to cover this tight end. I'm going to have literally every defensive lineman I've got. Heck, I'll throw this guy in just for good measure. Let me get him right there. I'll throw him into man coverage as well. So I've literally got, look at this. I've literally got these 4 defenders now covering this guy in man coverage. Heck, I think I even hot routed this guy. So I even have 6 guys I think I got covering him, plus the safety. Watch what happens when I run this. I'm going to switch off to somebody else here. Watch what happens here. See how open he gets? He's open, he goes out and covers him. So that's the glitch, guys. And like I said, there's a lot more you can do with this. I'm just showing you kind of the basics, but I did want to point this out to you guys. And again, I don't claim this play. This is definitely not mine. I like to try to find things for countering and stuff. If I see stuff on the some of these other Madden YouTube channels, I like to at least show you guys what's going on. I've done that for as long as I can remember. When I first started VG Sports, we've always done that type of stuff where we show the counters to stuff that are major, but we feel like are big time glitches in the game. So at any rate, guys, this is the end of the video breakdown. I know this one's real long and winded, but I just wanted to show this to you. And nothing fancy as far as the graphics and all that. Just bare bones, breaking it down to you guys real quick here. Or not real quick, but breaking it down to you guys here on a Sunday afternoon watching NFL football. All right, guys, I'll see you guys on my next video breakdown. Again, I appreciate you guys watching it.